Okay, it is now just about 4 p.m. on Tuesday, April 27th. We're going to go ahead and begin our land use hearing of the Board of Douglas County Commissioners. I'm going to call this meeting to order, and let's begin by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Ingles, do we have certification of the agenda?
We do, Mr. Chair. There are two items on today's agenda. Item 2A required published notice. That was accomplished on April 1st, 2021. Item B required published and posted notice. That was accomplished on April 1st and April 5th, respectively. With that, you have proper notice and jurisdiction on both items.
Thank you, Mr. Ingles. And do we have any commissioner disclosures for the items on this agenda?
I have none, thank you.
No, sir.
And I have none. We will now move to item number 2, our public hearing agenda items. The first is the resolution rezoning a parcel of land. We have Carolyn Washi Freeland, Senior Planner. Carolyn, are you here? Hi.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Carolyn Washi Freeland. I'm representing Planning Services. This is a request for a zone map change, and the project number is DR 2021-001. The project representative is Justin Stone, who is also in attendance virtually. This is a request for a zone map change to rezone property from estate residential, the estate residential district, to the large rural residential district. The request will allow the future development on the property in accordance with the LRR zoning. The property is located on a 19-acre subdivision outlined here in the red boundary, and it's located approximately 2 miles south of the intersection of West Walzenberger Road and Peakview Drive, southwest of the town of Castle Rock. The underlying estate residential zone district is shown here in beige and lies within the Castle Mesa South subdivision on Lot 12. Here's a view of the property from the Peakview Drive view looking west. The existing residence sits on a higher elevation and is set back from the roadway. The property owner has future plans to build a guest home near the primary residence after the property has been rezoned to the large residential district. The large residential district allows a guest house as an accessory structure. The zone map change is described in Section 112 of the County Zoning Resolution. This request is eligible for a zone map change as a rezoning of land when requested by the landowner to bring it into compliance with the comprehensive master plan. A zone map change is the process to adjust the zoning designation of a property on the county's zoning map, and it also is to reflect the consistency of the comprehensive master plan. The zone map change process begins with the submittal of a request from a landowner. The request is prepared and processed by staff and forwarded to referral agencies for comment. At the end of the referral period, courtesy notifications of an application and process are sent to abutting landowners. Staff further analyzes the request, and the applicant has the opportunity to address any issues identified through the referral period. Following published public notification, the request is considered at public hearings by the Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners. As background, the property was originally platted and subdivided as part of the Castle Mesa South subdivision in 1971 and zoned as Agricultural 1. In 1982, the property was rezoned from A1 to ER zoning as part of the county-wide rezoning effort. Lot 12 consists of a single-family home and an outbuilding that was established under the ER zoning district. Staff has evaluated the request for compliance with Section 112 of the zoning resolution, in which a parcel may be eligible for a zoning map change when requested by a landowner to be brought into compliance with the master plan. In this case, the property located at 1457 Peakview Drive in the Castle Mesa South subdivision remains consistent with many of the master plan goals, objectives, and policies for the West Plum Creek subarea. With this request, the zone change will allow the property owner to pursue future low-intensity rural development on the property, such as a guest house. The zone map change will bring the zoning designation of the site into greater conformance with the master plan, which supports ranching and farming activities in non-urban areas in the West Plum Creek subarea. The Planning Commission heard the request on April 19th and voted unanimously to recommend approval of the zoning map change. This concludes the presentation, and I'm available to answer questions if the board wishes. Mr. Stone is also available virtually if you would like to ask him any questions.
Thank you very much, Ms. Washi Freeland. And is this your first time presenting to us?
Yes, it is.
Well, I just wanted to let you know you did a really good job and welcome aboard. It's great to have you on board, and that was a wonderful presentation. Do we have any questions or comments for Ms. Washi Freeland?
I do, thank you. Carolyn, thank you for that presentation. So this is almost 20 acres. And when we do this change from estate residential to large rural residential, how many homes could actually go on this parcel?
Well, this particular property, it currently is zoned ER, estate residential. So the current zoning allows one dwelling unit per 2.5 acres. And under the new zoning for the large rural residential, it will have a lower density, which will be one dwelling unit per every 10 acres up to maybe 34.9 acres. So it's actually going down the zoning density.
Okay, thank you for explaining that. And so you did say that the purpose of doing this is to put a guest house on it because it's a family of 6 with 4 bedrooms, and so they want to be able to put a guest home there. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, I have no other questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioner Teal, did you have any questions?
I did, but my question was the same as Commissioner Thomas's, so thank you, Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you, Commissioner Teal. And I have a few questions, but I'll reserve those following the applicant's presentation. Did the applicant want to go ahead and present for us today?
He will not be presenting. He's available virtually, and if you have questions specifically for him, he's available to answer.
Okay. And so just going a little bit more into the background associated with the public notice and input, it sounds like there weren't any issues from the adjacent owners in terms of...
No, that's correct. We did do courtesy notifications to abutting landowners surrounding the property, and we received one response, a letter from a property owner that is just to the, I believe it's to the west, and he had no objections to the rezoning.
Okay, and it looks like the Building Services Division responded with no comment. I have no additional questions on that level. It sounds like we may not have a presentation, so I'll bring it back to the board for any additional questions or a motion or discussion. Or I'm sorry, let's before we do that, thank you, Commissioner Thomas. I'd like to open it up for citizen comment on this application. Troy, do we have any citizen? Is there any citizen comment in the room, first and foremost? Seeing none. Troy, do we have any citizen comment online?
We have no hands raised, Commissioner.
And that's not Troy's voice. Who is that?
This is CJ Gates,
Oh,
Commissioner.
CJ. Okay, great. Hi, CJ. Good to hear from you. Okay, hearing no public comment either here in person or on remote, I'll bring it back to the board for further discussion and or a motion.
Chairman, I'd be happy to make a motion to approve a resolution rezoning a parcel of land totaling 19.38 acres located in Douglas County, Colorado, from estate residential to large rural residential, project number DR 2021-001.
Second.
So I heard a first and second on that motion, and I will just add as a point of discussion that I believe that this application meets Section 112 of the Douglas County zoning resolution. There's a first and second on the table. All those in favor of that, please signal by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. And that passes 3-0. Congratulations. We will move to our second item on the land use meeting, and that is the Roxboro Park Preliminary Plan 2. We will turn it to staff for the presentation.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Eric Pavlinek, representing Planning Services. The item before you is the Roxboro Park Preliminary Plan 2. The project number is SB 2019-064. Tyler Jones of Berkeley Homes is here as the applicant. The applicant is requesting approval of a preliminary plan to subdivide a 16.2-acre site into 43 single-family detached residential lots and 2 tracts. 39 of the lots range in size from approximately 5,000 square feet to 8,000 square feet, which are adjacent to Roxboro Park Road. The 4 larger estate lots are located at the entrance to the Roxboro State Park and range in size from approximately 10,000 square feet to 16,500 square feet. The intent of the preliminary plan process is to provide an in-depth analysis of the proposed subdivision, including a review of the design, considering the ability to obtain water and sanitation, identify geological hazards, environmentally sensitive areas, wildlife habitat areas, source of required services, vehicular and pedestrian circulation, storm drainage and water quality, relationships to surrounding land uses, and conformance with the master plan. The preliminary plan process begins with the submittal of an application. Following comments by staff, the request is forwarded to referral agencies. At the beginning of the referral period, courtesy notifications of an application process are sent to abutting property owners. No adjacent property owner or members of the public commented on the application. Public notice is provided, and the request is heard by the Planning Commission prior to the consideration by the Board of County Commissioners. The City of Aurora had initial concerns with the protection and integrity of the adjacent water supply, reservoir, and drainage channel. The applicant has addressed these concerns, and the applicant will finalize all drainage designs, easements, and agreements with the City of Aurora at the time of final plat. The Planning Commission considered the applicant's request for approval at a public hearing on April 19th. The Planning Commission discussion focused on overall site drainage, trash pickup, future traffic improvements, and existing water line easement. A representative of the Roxboro Park Foundation spoke at the hearing and clarified the approximate location of the dam breach inundation zone, which is identified on the preliminary plan exhibit. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the preliminary plan subject to the 8 conditions proposed by staff by a vote of 7-0. The site outlined in red is located immediately south and east of the intersection of Roxboro Park Drive and East Roxboro Park Drive. Zooming in, this is an aerial view of the property. As background, the PD was approved in 1981 and has been amended several times over the years. The 12th Amendment created Planning Area 18 and allocated the 55 residential units to this area of the PD. Through the preliminary plan review process, the Roxboro Park Foundation agreed to sell the adjacent commercially zoned parcel to the developer for development as a private dog park. I apologize, I don't know. This slide shows the overall subdivision layout. The 16.2 acre site will consist of 43 single-family residential lots, 2 tracks and associated internal private roads. 39 lots will have access via a private road connecting to Roxboro Park Road, and the 4 larger lots will have access from East Roxboro Drive. The proposal includes a dog park for the subdivision residents, which is located on the eastern edge of the subdivision. The improvements related to the dog park will be subject to a subsequent site improvement plan process. Water and wastewater services will be provided by the Roxboro Water and Sanitation District. Following our site photos, this is a view from Roxboro Park Drive looking east through proposed Track B, which again is on the eastern edge of the preliminary plan boundary. Another view from Roxboro Park Road looking southeast through that same tract. A view from Roxboro Park Road looking south. The existing access drive to the reservoir will be relocated to the east. A view from the northwestern edge looking south. The Aurora Reservoir spillway area is visible in this photo. An existing flow easement covers this area, and no lots are proposed within the limits of the spillway. A detention pond is proposed within Aurora's existing flow easement. The design of this pond shall be approved by Aurora at the time of final plat approval. A view from the intersection of Roxboro Park Road and East Roxboro Drive looking southwest. The West Metro Fire Station is visible on the right of the photo. And finally, a view from East Roxboro Drive looking south. The approval standards for a preliminary plan request are set forth in section 403 of the subdivision resolution and are listed on this slide. Staff's assessment of the approval standards are discussed in detail in the staff report. Staff has evaluated the request in accordance with Article 4 of the subdivision resolution. The conditions included are intended to track specific requirements and commitments that must be met as part of the subsequent final plat application. Should the board find that the approval standards for the preliminary plan are met, the following proposed conditions should be considered for inclusion in today's motion. Condition number 1, prior to recordation of the final plat, the applicant shall provide evidence that the access and drainage easements required by City of Aurora have been recorded. Condition number 2, prior to recordation of the final plat, a homeowners association shall be established, and covenants, controls, and restrictions shall be recorded to address architectural design, review, fencing, and landscaping requirements for all lots within the subdivision. Condition number 3, prior to recordation of the final plat, school capital mitigation fees in the amount of $2,000 per lot shall be paid to the Douglas County School District in accordance with PD commitments. Cash in lieu of school land dedication shall also be paid to Douglas County School District in accordance with Article 10 of the subdivision resolution. Condition number 4, prior to recordation of the final plat, required park land dedication shall be provided or cash in lieu fees paid in accordance with Article 10 of the subdivision resolution. Condition number 5, during construction activity within the development, the applicant, its successor, and assigned shall take all reasonable care to watch for historic resources, paleontological resources, and other cultural history resources, and shall immediately notify Douglas County and complete appropriate Colorado Office of Archaeological and Historic Preservation Data Management forms in the event of such discovery. Condition number 6, during construction activity within the development, the applicant, its successor, and assigned shall conduct a burrowing owl study if any earth moving will take place between March 15th and October 31st. Condition number 7, Colorado Parks and Wildlife literature shall be made available to both prospective homeowners and home buyers regarding the existence of wildlife in the area and how to minimize conflicts. Condition number 8, Technical corrections to the record copy of the preliminary plan exhibit shall be made to the satisfaction of Douglas County. And condition number 9, all commitments and promises made by the applicant or the applicant's representative during the public hearing and/or agreed to in writing and included in the public record have been relied upon by the Board of County Commissioners in approving the application. Therefore, such approval is conditioned upon the applicant's full satisfaction of all such commitments and promises. Section 405.08 of the subdivision resolution sets forth the parameters for board action on a preliminary plan application, as noted on the slide. This concludes my presentation. I'm available to take any questions. Otherwise, Tyler Jones is here on behalf of Berkeley Homes with a presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Pavlinek, and I know this is not your first presentation. I think you've been here back when I was on Planning Commission, probably long before that. Do we have any questions for Mr. Pavlinek?
I do have one question, Eric. The packet said that the burrowing owl study only needed to be done between March 15th and March 31st. That's on page 6 of the packet. But the condition says March 15th through October 31st. So which one is correct?
Eric Pavlik for staff. Yeah, that was a discrepancy on page 6. The condition is accurate. It is March 15th through October 31st.
Correct. I said appreciate the correction. Thank you.
Commissioner Teal?
So current ownership of this area is with the Roxboro Park Foundation.
Eric Pavlik for staff, the property, the current
Correct.
property.
Did I get that wrong?
No, the foundation currently owns I'm going to back up to my exhibit. This piece over here, and Berkeley Homes could discuss that further. I believe they are under contract with that piece that the foundation currently owns. That's where they've incorporated a private dog park for the site. During the referral period, the foundation had concerns with access to that property. So during the process, the applicant has purchased that property, or it's under contract to buy that piece from the foundation.
Okay, they're going to buy that piece of the property from the foundation, and then they're going to go ahead and develop it as a dog park.
Correct, as part of the subdivision.
Okay, thank you.
Correct.
And then just to clarify, I mean, right now it's zoned for 55 residential units, but the applicant is only planning on developing 43.
That is correct.
Okay, so we're well within zoning. Okay, I think those are my questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Teal. And Eric, you mentioned that the Planning Commission approved this with 8 conditions, but we've got 9 before us today. Have all of those, it remains 9 conditions and no changes to that?
Yeah, no change to that. The standard condition, the commitments.
The final, okay.
Condition was added.
Okay, thank you, Eric. And then I had that question too about the Roxboro Park Foundation and where the applicant might be at in terms of that contract process. But I will turn that over to the applicant to answer in your presentation. Mr. Jones?
Tyler Jones, 10630 East Bethany Drive, Suite B, Aurora, Colorado, 80014. Good afternoon. Thanks, Eric, and thank you, commissioners, for taking your time this afternoon to listen and discuss this exciting project, the Roxboro Park Preliminary Plan Number 2. Like I said previously, I'm Tyler Jones with Berkeley Homes. A little bit about Berkeley Homes before we discuss this project further. Berkeley Homes has been around since 1985. We are a locally owned and operated home building company, and we have built several thousand homes in communities all across the greater Denver area. From the 400,000s to over 1 million, our focus at Berkeley is really on providing our customers with the best overall home buying and home ownership experience. Highlighted on the screen are a few projects that we are actively building or have completed. The first one is Canyon Point at the Canyons. It's one of 2 projects we are actively building in the Canyons and Castle Pines right now. The next one, North Sky at Ridgegate, is one of our award-winning projects. The Milestone Collection at Backcountry was our most recent community within Highlands Ranch. And the Timbers, where we have sold out and are finishing construction, is another community within Douglas County. Next slide, please. Now switching gears back to Roxboro Park Preliminary Plan number 2. As with Eric's site maps, this project is located on the southern end of Roxboro towards the entrance of Roxboro State Park. Next slide. Zooming in a little closer, we can see that this project is located to the east of the fire station and north of the Aurora Water Rampart Reservoir. The next slide is an illustrative map of the proposed development. The 43 lots have 39 of which accessed off the Roxboro Park Road, and the 4 estate lots accessed off Roxboro Drive East. The 43 lots are set on these 16 acres, which is less than the 55 units currently allowed and is approximately 2.6 units to the acre. Roxboro Park Road on the north will undergo improvements with this development, improving a portion of the roadway to Douglas County standards. The access off this road will provide views down into the reservoir as you enter the community, with many of the lots within the community having fantastic ranging views all around. One of the main amenities of this site is the large open space, and within that open space is the dog park set on the eastern side of the site, which will provide residents with a great dog-friendly outdoor activity. This project has had many stakeholders. We've worked with all of them. Most notably, we've worked extensively with Aurora Water to develop a site plan and the associated engineering solutions that meet their drainage requirements and their access needs to the reservoir. Next slide. While we're still early in developing our architecture for this particular community, we believe that'll be something similar to the architecture that we constructed within the Milestone Collection at the Backcountry, within Backcountry in Highlands Ranch, which is shown here. I'll keep my presentation brief, and thank you for your time this afternoon, and happy to provide any additional clarification or answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Mr. Jones. Any questions or comments for the applicant? Commissioner Thomas, did you want to turn on your microphone?
Sorry, I was coughing. Everyone didn't need me to cough. I apologize. The packet says that there's going to be an HOA that's developed. Is the HOA only for these 43 residents?
That is correct. The HOA will serve for those 43 lots. That's correct.
And will they have the authority to maintain the paint color and all of that kind of information, or what all will be the duties of the HOA?
They will set the design guidelines for and administer the design guidelines for each of the buildings themselves, the homes themselves. But the primary responsibility is the maintenance of the landscape. The internal roads in this site are private roads, so the HOA will be responsible for maintaining those roads. And then an additional notable requirement is the maintenance of the drainage channel that runs along the southern side of the site, which borders the Aurora Water Reservoir. So that maintenance as well. So those are kind of the primary responsibilities of the HOA.
And I think it's lot number 23. Is that the only lot that is served by the alley?
Let me pull that up. Lot 24 and 23 are kind of served off that Hammerhead alley there.
But all the roads, including the alley, are private and maintained by the HOA.
That is correct.
I have no other questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioner Teal? No, thank you. Okay. Well, Mr. Jones, I just wanted to thank you for the presentation. Berkeley Homes creates a beautiful product. I hail from Lone Tree, and that Ridgegate community really benefits from the, is it Skyview, Ridge Sky?
North Sky.
North Sky, okay. I just see it from a distance and marvel. I know they're Berkeley Homes, but truly wonderful. I just wanted to follow up on the question about the Roxboro Park Foundation and the dog park. So you're under contract to purchase the property. It sounds like that's fairly far along, correct?
Yes, yes. The dog park actually straddles property lines. So the foundation owns the southern section of that, and then the other ownership group owns the northern section. We are under contract for all those pieces of the property, so they will be developed concurrently.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jones. I have no further questions. I will now open it up to any citizen comment on this particular item. Is there anyone in the audience today that would like to provide some citizen comment on this application? Seeing none, I'll turn to CJ. CJ, do we have anybody online?
I have no hands raised, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you, CJ. I'll bring it back to the board for any comments, discussion, or a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Roxboro Park Preliminary Plan 2 with 9 conditions as presented. Project file SB 2019-064.
Well, second.
And I have a first and a second, and before we move forward, let me just confirm with the applicant that you have accepted all 9 conditions?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we have a first and second. All those in favor of that motion, please signal by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that motion passes 3-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And congratulations. And that concludes today's public lands or land use meeting, and we are adjourned.